Hello, and welcome back to StarRupture. We've recently unlocked the cargo dispatcher and receiver, so I wanted to show you how these beautiful machines work. First of all, in case you're unfamiliar, StarRupture is an automation-based building game with lots of exploration and combat, and floor-player multiplayer on top of that. It's releasing on January 6th on Steam. During your adventure in Arcadia 7, on the planet we're on, you eventually unlock cargo dispatchers and receivers. This will allow you to automatically launch your items anywhere buildable on the map, basically teleporting them through the machines. To unlock these machines, you need level 7 reputation with Clever Robotics. This is the corporation to go for all your logistics needs. To build them, you can find them over at the logistics tab of the building screen. You will require intermediate building materials, which can take some effort to do, as it requires 3 different intermediate products. They can be crafted either on the basic item printers inside your habitat, or through mass pressers, which are unlocked on level 8 Selenium reputation. Reaching this stage can take a while if you build a setup for all required products, so you could beeline to this instead with limited production. To do some cargo transfers, you start by selecting which item you want to send out on the dispatcher. You then select the target cargo receiver and either fill up the dispatcher manually or via rails. Simple as that. I'd highly recommend coming up with a naming scheme for your receivers, otherwise your destination menu will look very cryptic. Currently, I use a code name for my base, and either D for dispatcher or R for receiver. Base 1 receiver gets B1R, for example. Maybe at some point you've asked yourself, mass driving items around the planet sounds nice, but what's the catch? There isn't really a catch, other than the amount of overheat protection these buildings take. They also take plenty of power. You can see on the top right here that for both of them it takes 40 power to run. At this point in the game, however, you have wind turbines which generate enough power to run 5 of them, and you can spam basic building materials for infinite power. The biggest blocker for sure is the core overheat level. A base core protects the area around it from a StarRupture, so your structures don't get overheated or damaged. You can see that the area protection around the base core is pretty large. As the base under this core is getting pretty dense, the overheat protection is almost overloaded. Each building has an associated heat level with it. And you can see on the top bar there a little cyan number written +3, so a smelter requires 3 protection units from the core. Receptors and dispatchers both require 40 units, so they are the most expensive buildings to protect yet that I've seen. Building multiple of them will quickly bring you over the limit, and will require you to upgrade your core, or to distribute and spread out your base among multiple baseline cores. You can also push past your limits by using base core amplifiers, made by the Moon Energy Corporation. They require clearance level 7, but you'll increase your heat capacity by 20, so you need 2 of these for each cargo building. They are not necessarily cheap, but if you spend the time scaling up production, you can definitely spam those instead of upgrading cores. Upgrading cores costs a lot of resources and attracts the attention of the planet's natives. Doing so will require you to start thinking about defenses. At the current version of the game, going over the core limit and overheating is not a big deal, as it will just mean that it will take much longer for your buildings to cool off after a rupture. I don't really think you'll lose anything. Since this is early access though, and things could change, and also because it feels cheesy and inconsistent, I won't really be keeping my cores overheated, but that's just my personal take. Now let's see some usage examples. My first use for these was to bring me the resources to make more of them, so I bring titanium housing, glass and inductors right by my base for quick crafting. As my production is spread out around my base, this saves me from running around like a crazy man, more than I already do. At this stage, I haven't yet automated intermediate materials, as that requires a mass press which I haven't unlocked yet. Overall, using these is great to avoid doing crazy spaghetti around your base, even though a little spaghetti here is allowed. Another clear example to use this is to bring materials from distant outposts back to our main factories. As a quick example, I see shiny Wolfram nodes near my base that would have a huge travel time if I brought it back to my Wolfram foundries. So we start by updating the layout here a little bit and adding a receiver to taking Wolfram bars I'll be smelting on site. Don't forget to give your new receiver a descriptive name. Now let's head out for the materials deposit. I'm sure it will be fine. Of course, on my way there I realized that the area already has a very strong claim by the natives. And even after a long round of negotiations, with many difficult arguments provided by them, we've reached a consensus. But then I realized all this area is actually claimed by corporations, so these deposits are inaccessible. Let's then take a detour and have a look at this old area I haven't been into in well over 10 hours. We can just give a quick update to its layout, survive another StarRupture by walling ourselves in under a core, and add the 3 cargo dispatchers. We can have all of them targeting the same receiver, so we'll fully fill the receiving end every 1 to 3 minutes. One thing about dispatchers is that if the receiver is full, it will wait before the receiving end has enough space for the package. You can limit package sizes in case you want to stagger dispatchers or send faster packages out. Another good use for those is setting up forward operating bases, or resupply outposts. My main base is all the way down here and there is a whole mountain between us and there, so we can just set this place up and rename accordingly. Give it some power, then head back to the base to set up the dispatcher. This will definitely be more smooth and less awkward in multiplayer, so any co-op partners hanging in the other end can set up the transfer. If you play solo, you have to head all the way back to our intended dispatcher to link it to the new receiver. If we could access dispatchers remotely, it would certainly be amazing. Once you unlock the mass press, you can automate ammo production and send those out too. That will allow you to feed defense turrets anywhere in the world. Now, for the limitations of these and for potential developments or even mods, unfortunately we cannot send out every item in the game, and you can only set a single type of item per dispatcher. If you could send out more types of things, this could also be used to clear out your inventory of loot items when you are away from the base. Although honestly, there is different ways to manage your inventory already. We also cannot access or reconfigure these remotely, so using them in the field or when building new bases can be awkward at this stage. Although player teleportation would make this much less of an issue, and that might be coming. I mean, I'm pretty sure it is, I think it's on the trailer. Remote access and configuration of dispatchers sound like a mod territory, even though I feel like it would make complete sense for the core game to support that, since every factory building aspect of StarRupture is very streamlined, and it seems to me like streamlining the automation genre is a core design goal here. In other words, please devs, let me remote control these, please. If you want a final and completely random extra tip, unlock the assault rifle and a 3x optic as soon as you can. It will make your life better and help you scope out pesky speeders. They keep breaking my shields. This is it for cargo transfer in StarRupture. Make sure to like and subscribe this for more, it definitely helps out the channel a lot. If you're interested, feel free to follow me over to Twitch as well, as I'm hoping to do more streams of StarRupture, as well as keeping a good eye on new releases like this. Stay angry at the Xenos, trust all the corporations, and bye-bye.